Hello.
How's it going, Chad?
We have a special host tonight. This is the one, the only, Miss Lee Brown. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Sitting here in my haunted house talking to Chad.
Yeah, I'm haunted. Man, I'd die. I would literally, like, that's the perfect setup. That's perfect.
It
if I
really
ever
is.
I'm gonna pick up some old haunted house, and it'd be great.
You should. Well,
Yeah,
you're always welcome here. It
be
is
fun.
really something else.
I bet.
We've been hearing that on the door. The cabinet doors are opening. We've seen a man standing on the porch.
And it's more active.
It's getting interesting.
So what do you think drives the activity in hauntings? Like, because it does come in waves. There's active points. There's spikes in activity and dormant periods. What do you think causes that?
Well, with this house, I believe that it's triggers. I think that it's always like this. But my husband was playing some music from the 40s, and my great grandfather played the mandolin, and he played in this house, and the street
so
out.
This is your family for a while. House. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. And the outhouse is in the backyard for the whole street. And so he would have moonshine brought over, and they would have big parties here at the house.
So your guys, so that was the place to be, huh? On the weekends back in the day, huh?
Yes, it was.
That's interesting. So how old's the house?
It was built in the 24.
Oh wow, 1924. That is interesting. There's a lot. I love history, but this isn't the. Are there multiple houses on the property you were saying, or? This is a little house?
Yeah, we have two houses. Oh, yeah. And this is the bigger house is next door.
Okay.
Yeah. This is in a mill village. Do you know what a mill village is?
No, I've never heard that term.
See, I'm in South Carolina, and a lot of the industries that came about the time of between the 20s and the 40s was textile mills. And there were no other homes in the area for the workers for the mills to be able to stay in. There just wasn't any place for them to stay. So they built little villages around the mill, and it depended on the time. Right. Yeah. And so they would take the rent out of their check, and they would have a grocery store that was run by the mill, and that would come out of your check. You'd be set up an account. So
yeah, we have similar stuff around here, like in our local history. There's actually the audio clip that Gwen loves, the Liberty Bond one, that was Camp Liberty, it was a sawmill that they set up a camp to stay there as they were working.
So it's the same type thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting. I love history. So you guys have a lot of stuff coming up, interesting stuff for the.
We do. By the way, the mill village was built on a Revolutionary War battlefield. So there's that too.
and that's where you're at right now, right? Correct? Oh
Yeah.
wow, man. Wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting. So do you like staying in there?
I do. It feels
Okay.
great. I know that
So
I've got
like when
family members that live here as well.
anything, nothing too nefarious, huh? Going on in there? Nothing. Just some noises and
I think
bangs and
family kind of keeps things at bay, you know?
yeah. So has anything ever like startled you? I mean, has anything happened that kind of shocked you in there yet?
Well, yes, we've had some shocking things. Like tonight, I went over to the bigger house to get my passport because I'm flying out in the morning. And on the way back over, we saw a man standing on the porch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
And I
kind of
earlier tonight, I
shocking,
was
huh?
washing dishes. I was washing dishes and I looked down the hallway, saw a full figure of a man standing there. I almost dropped what I was washing. It
Did it
it
look
really
solid, like real?
shocked me. Yeah,
Did it look
yeah.
like it wasn't loose and looked solid?
He
Yeah,
was in a suit and he wore a fedora.
yeah. With the details like that, yeah. Jennifer, same thing here a while back. I heard her kind of scream and for a second, and she said she looked over and there was this figure stand. I mean, just like solid, it just like flashed there and it was gone. But
Oh
she could
God.
give details on what kind of glasses it was wearing, like horn rimmed glasses, and just really odd. But yeah, if you can see detail like that, that's
He
amazing.
had his hands in his pockets, but it was more towards like the pocket loop, not
Mm-hmm.
inside the pockets. And
Like what? Like did it look? Oh, what happened?
sorry, my bad. I don't know what I didn't do that.
Well, it's kind of
I was reaching for my cards over here to the right, and then
yeah.
all of a sudden that just happened. I
Well,
I
you expect it, and I think by the time my show comes on, there's it's the end. It's the end of the lineup, and yeah, like Gwen says, stuff starts acting up. And two, there's stuff that
things
happens in
start
my
cra
place too. So
yeah. She'll be
yeah,
here shortly.
certain
We're flying
conversations.
out together.
So you guys are flying back home, or somewhere, or you guys got a destination? Oh no, because you're home right now.
We're going we're
Yeah,
going to
so
film.
we're,
Yeah, Gwen saying she
oh, are
saw
you gonna go
Daddy Joe.
film?
We're going to film. My grandfather, Daddy Joe, was on the porch early. She actually sees him all the time.
Oh wow,
He loves
there's
Gwen.
Gwen.
He he loves Gwen.
So you guys are
Yeah.
gonna go film. That's congratulate. That's exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, I do want, let me go ahead and show you. We're really celebrating because Gwen was recognized. Let's see, where'd it go? Where, oh, that I'm in the wrong thing. Wait a minute, let me scroll up. Here it is. So I made the cover. Okay.
Right.
And that's just me trying to do something for, as you see, all access network television.
Oh, there it
And
is.
yes, so that's all you guys. Here's a picture of me and Gwen. I'm so proud of all the work
Awesome.
she's doing. She's
Yeah,
really good.
you guys are working hard.
Yeah, and so this is where I'm talking about the all access network television and where we investigate, and I talk all about the different podcasts we have. I haven't actually
That is
read the
awesome.
whole thing, but I know what I sent in. But yeah,
That is
she's in
awesome.
there.
No,
I'm
that's
so
cool.
proud
Very
of
cool.
her.
I mean, look at how far the network's come since it started.
Oh,
And
let me
that
show you something else to celebrate. I got this is just one of our 9 channels. Gwen was here,
okay.
she could tell. Ta-da! Look.
Oh wow, look at that. Over
Uh-huh.
100,000 users. Wow. No, that's big. That's big. That is awesome. I mean, that shows all you guys' hard work is paying off, and it's it's awesome. That's something to be
And
proud of
I
there.
do know that your show is very popular. People
Oh, is
talk
it?
about how smart you are. They really like
Oh, I
it.
don't know.
You and Jennifer. And well, it's just interesting things that you're willing to do. You're
Oh,
pretty fearless when it comes to this. So
yeah. Well, yeah. It's 30 years. You get used to it after a while. But yeah, from getting COVID again, there's some new variant. I got it first. I think I got it first. I think, not everybody. I don't know,
oh wow, I hate that
but
so
then
much.
here a while back, and then I did get bit by a rattlesnake. That's true. but I don't know if I'm lucky or unlucky. Probably lucky because my foot just got a little sore. It wasn't nothing big. So
I don't know how in the world. It probably didn't get its
it probably
teeth
didn't get a,
on.
probably didn't get, yeah, it didn't envenomate me. But it wasn't a little teeny tiny one, but it was like, I don't know, foot and a half long or so. So, and I stepped on it and it came around and I had these light shoes on. It came around and nailed me right inside of my foot. So,
Ooh.
but but I mean, pretty fortunate though. I mean, you can look at it like it's unlucky or lucky, but yeah. So yeah,
What's
no
going to
biggie.
happen? You want it to at least be, easy to
Right.
treat. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah. Well, I mean, it just the bottom of my foot, the arch of my foot got sore. That was it. That was all that happened.
Really?
Yeah, that was it. So I don't think it got me very good, but yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, interesting stuff. Um, I guess what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, correct? Except for
That is true.
when's something gonna do the job? I'm curious. Because lots of stuff. I got lots of these unfortunate events, but none of them ever are that unfortunate. So I don't know. I guess the term, stuff happens. I guess. Yeah. Anyway.
Have
Yeah.
you
So
done any investigating lately?
yes, I have. Actually, there is one I'm going to go do here very, very soon. That should be very interesting. I'm going to see if the people will let me do a live stream from there.
Ooh,
Residents, but it's very interesting, and I'm hoping that they'll allow me to let everybody kind of join in on the investigation that way.
that sounds fantastic.
That would be fun.
Is it in the country or are you in city? What you think you'll have
It's
good
cool.
signal?
I live in a ghost town pretty much. I live in a town called Wasco, Oregon. It's
Oregon.
it has just a couple hundred people live here, and it's out in the country, and there's a lot of this region has a lot of activity for some reason. There's a lot of Native American history here, and there's just a lot of activity for whatever reason, and this location is really active. So
Well, cool.
they got some stuff going on that's kind of alarming to them. So it would be great to have some other eyes and ears, watching some camera feeds and see if they hear anything or see anything. It'd be interesting. But yeah,
So what do
so
you feel like you're best at? Like EVPs or stills, camera still? What do you, where
well,
do you have your best?
a little of everything, I think. I listening to audio, I can tell when something's going to speak because there's a shift in the white noise. And I've
Yeah,
listened
yeah.
to so many, I don't know, countless hours of audio that there's an ambient noise element when spirits are active. I mean, you probably noticed that, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
that'll shift up and down accordingly to like whether there's any activity in that area. And I've I can pick noises out, and actually it's like something that I just come natural just after the years doing it. I'll hear it when we're out and about. I'll hear something shift, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I just heard something. But it's something that I don't even have to consciously do. Like, I mean, it's like something I'm always just listening for. So I would have to say audio. Audio would be my best, my best ability there when it comes to analyzing evidence.
Were you ever in the service?
No, my grandfather was. My grandfather was actually very famous. His name was
Really? Who's your grandfather?
Admiral Elmo Zumwalt, the new destroyer. The name of it's the USS Zumwalt. That's named after him.
Yeah.
Very famous.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard of him, but it does ring a bell. I could see you just
Yeah.
just now. I could see you with, the earphones on and
Yeah.
communications. Maybe that's a different life, maybe.
Could be, but there's no there's a lot of my there's a military history with my family that goes way back, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Maybe
And I
you're
would have
your
joined the military if I had.
relative.
What's that?
You might be your own relative.
You never know. You never know.
Because, I'm looking at him. Oh my goodness. Elmo Zumwalt. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's a handsome man. Good grief. Transformed the Navy to the 21st century. Bronze Star. Holy crap, Chad.
Yeah.
He's a handsome man.
Yeah, he accomplished a lot. Changed the U.S. Navy. Uh, made it helped make it what it is today. Anyway,
I
he
hope
did
that,
all kinds of stuff.
what were you going to say?
Oh no, I'm saying he's a very interesting man. He did a lot in his lifetime.
Well, I am positive that I saw you with the receiving code. That was really kind of interesting. I blinked a couple of times before it passed. Here's your grandfather.
Yep, that's him. Yep.
Yeah, you look a lot like him too.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been some people that have said that about about me being in the military. That's kind of like it's installed into me, to be that way, or
right.
That's kind of like inherited. That I've heard some kind of interesting predictions on that. Like that maybe in the future, end up being part of the military, but I don't know. He did a lot of extraordinary things, and he was the youngest admiral in history at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, there's documentaries on him and stuff. Pretty interesting. Here's something interesting. Okay. I have his uniform, and I inherited a bunch of stuff that he owns. I also have a relic that's pretty significant. When the Japanese surrendered, and this is something that isn't part of history that I'm leaking out here. When the Japanese admiral surrendered, he gave something as a symbol of them surrendering. The only time that the Empire of Japan has ever surrendered, and it was the flag off of their admiral's ship. And
wow!
I have the flag.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Chad, that's intense.
Huge piece of history. Yeah.
Oh my God! We should do this. We should do that article. Have you ever investigated it? Oh, heck, you should do it. You should investigate it. And if you get anything off of it, we should write that article we were talking about.
Good. And the famous Japanese destroyer, the Yamato. My grandfather was involved in sinking that. And
look who's in the house.
What's happening, Brandon?
Who
summoned the Shanome?
We needed you. Check out this. This is his grandfather, dude. Admiral Elmo Zumwalt.
Yeah.
That's his grandpa.
My grandfather.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
he's well known.
Admiral.
Hang on, I gotta fix my audio. Hang on a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
So he was a Bronze Star for Valor winner in World War II. And also, he was an officer on a battleship during the Korean War and commanded America's Navy in the Vietnam War. Holy crap.
That's crazy.
Crazy. And look up the USS Destroyer. Look at that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. There's just so much. They called him Zorro because he never stopped fighting and didn't care it might derail his career. He just kept going. He was, just relentless. He was a force.
Yeah.
California kid.
He was.
Yeah, he went to the Naval Academy in Annapolis. Oh my God, what an incredible guy. Well, he was just telling me, Brandon, that he still has a flag when the Japanese surrendered. They
Ooh.
took the flag.
Grandfather took the flag himself, and took their admiral's swords, his family sword, his like ancestral swords, and the Smithsonian at one point in time was looking for that a long time ago, because
Don't let them get their hands on it.
No, they're not.
He
They're not looking
owns
for
it.
now.
He's going to investigate it, Brandon. I'm so excited.
But it was like one of the most significant relics of World War II, because it symbolized the end of World War II, and also symbolized the only time that Japan has ever surrendered. So it was quite the big deal. So yeah, I do have that. As a matter of fact, I could even show it on the show. But we can save it for a different show if you want to.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll get Brandon to come back, because I can't imagine anybody else that would appreciate it like that. And maybe even Brent might want to come on. We'll have to see. A friend of mine in the Navy.
When people find out I have that thing, they of course they don't believe it. They're like, oh no way. And like, well, yeah. And unfortunately, I think the swords got lost in a home fire, I think, or something like that. But yeah, it was the famous. There were two generals. I can't remember if it was the famous one that said that we've awoken the sleeping giant, or the other one that they admirals that the flag belonged to. But is one of the two. It might have been the most famous one. I have to look into it. But anyway, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I've got some interesting relics like that. I also have one of John Wayne's prop guns off of his set of a lot of his movies. That's pretty interesting.
So cool. I had no idea. Just that's cool.
Yeah, which there's.
So Gwen's in the house.
I'm gonna
jump out.
Jumping out.
She's coming. She's right here.
Yeah,
would you like to eat dinner? It's in the microwave. We're flying out, like I said.
You're gonna
and
investigate that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing that too.
We'll do that. We'll set up the time, or one of the Monday night shows here soon, and we'll do it.
Yeah. Just let me know ahead of time, and I'll make sure I got an evening clear. I want to talk more about that.
So, what have you been up to lately, sir? Before you go.
Can't say.
Can't say. What do you have to kill us?
No, but I do have news coming out pretty soon.
Oh, cool! Right on.
But
well, you were one of my favorites, sir. One of my favorites.
Man, thank you so much.
The one, the only, Brandon Cooper.
Thanks, guys.
He's my buddy, man. I was just thinking about you. I'm so glad.
I love you guys, and definitely Chad. Like, hit me up, man. I'd love to be a small part of that. Hey, Glenn.
Sure.
Hey, Gwen, let me show you something. Surprise. Wait. Hold on. Hey, right here. This is his grandfather. This is Chad's grandfather, Admiral Elmo Zumwalt, and he commanded the Navy during the Vietnam War.
You look like him.
Doesn't he, though?
You look like him.
Wow,
Brandon left us.
Darn it.
He had to go, I think, for some reason, but
Would he pop in, because he's so dang interesting? I got to grab me something to eat.
It's in the microwave. Okay, so we're talking about objects, okay?
Right,
First thing I wanted to talk to you about, I do want Marlene, is this, okay? I finally got my book done. It started out as a small little workbook that we used for class about, types of ghosting techniques. This one, yes, between heaven and ectoplasm.
Like it.
So it's really cool. I'd love for you to take a look at it, Chad.
Sure,
formally wrote the forward on the book. It's fantastic. It took me a lot to write because I had to go through the Tracy, you can definitely get one. These are available on Amazon. Ooh, the chills just went all over me. She just said it.
There must be the special guest this evening.
Yeah, this is the special guest this evening.
My sweet.
This is Marley. Get down there.
Show, Marley.
She's a mess. She's a sweet mess. But she was writing to Savannah, in the back of the in the trailer, and she doesn't like the dark, and
Don't like
she
the dark.
made a darn mess. She was throwing stuff everywhere, and
So what?
unzipping my husband's suitcase and throwing stuff.
What's your issue? What's the matter there? No, what's her name? Is Susanna?
Her
Savannah?
name is Marley.
Marley. Okay, why do I think Savannah? I don't know.
Oh,
You
we
know,
were taking her to Savannah.
oh, okay, Marley.
Savannah,
Okay.
Georgia. We went to the Haunted Object Museum, Paranormal Museum in Savannah,
So where
Georgia.
do you acquire her from? You want to give a little back history?
Well,
on it?
she's got quite the story. A man named Bill Steele owns the Dorchester Jail in Nova Scotia, a place called New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Canada. And he bought the Dorchester Jail and turned it into a bed and breakfast. So that's his home now. And aside from that, he goes to, big flea markets and auctions and things like that. And he buys things, and he's got all those cells so he can separate it. He's got wonderful collections of his own, but he sells them.
Right.
And he had a haunted object, and people brought their haunted objects into the prison for, I can't remember what episode it was for the show Repossessed that I did.
Oh, okay. Oh, the show. Okay.
It's the New Brunswick.
Off the this.
It might be 4 or 5.
Was she featured on the show?
Marley wasn't,
Yeah.
but
Oh, what?
Bill called me and said he had been to an auction, and he got some stuff, and it was on its way to me, and I could hear the tape roll going, and I said, Bill, what's going on? And he said that he bought these dolls.
Did he know it was haunted when he bought it?
No. And
No,
he had eaten dinner, and he went to bed, he and his wife and child. And he heard Amelia heard some rustling and went into the went and woke Bill up and said, get your flashlight, I hear something. And he went out there with his flashlight. He panned across, and when he was panning back, 3 dolls jumped at him 5 feet off the bench, and it scared the crap out of the man, and he doesn't do supernatural. And he said he was thinking these things.
That would scare a lot of people. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's interesting.
So this is
so there
Marley.
she is. So I mean,
I got a whole box of them.
But
she's the one that's most.
The history of before he purchased her, like where she came from. Does he know?
Yes, a lady named Marlene had been killed by her husband.
Oh.
I can send you the obituary privately. I don't want it to look like I'm exploiting her. And but her husband lost his marbles and shot her.
Oh, wow.
And killed her, dismembered her, and somebody called for a welfare check, a family member and some people at work, and they went in and found the deed had been done, and her husband's in jail, so justice has been served.
Right.
And but the trauma, she jumped out of her body because of what was happening.
How suddenly, yeah.
She's really an anomaly because most people have attachments, most objects have an attachment.
Right.
But Marley's inside of the doll.
Right. So she actually possesses the doll. Right.
Yeah. She's in the doll.
So I mean, what is the most bizarre activity that you've witnessed since you've got the doll?
Well, she readily moves her arms and her eyes.
Like right in front of you, you'll see it move.
Yeah, well, there they go.
They will move, even if you're not moving.
Did you guys? Okay, let me turn her and see if her eye. Yeah, see, they're tracking.
Oh, her eyes are different. Her eyes are different. Yeah, it looks like they're a little bit different.
Yeah, she's a Shirley Temple doll.
Looks like it's got. The eyes are different.
I'm trying really hard to take care of her. Yeah, but I put her in the trailer instead of riding in the car with us because I thought it would give us more room and she would be okay. Well, she was very upset about it, and she threw up the crystals everywhere, and we had a flat tire. Yeah, there's a whole lot. She knocked the stuff out.
That's not
I've
good.
got a video of it. I'll have to send you the video.
That's not good. Well, welcome to the show, Marley.
She's a beautiful one.
So is this one of the items that you give demonstrations on, like with your?
It is, yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That's fascinating. Haunted
Let me
dolls.
tell you a couple more, because we had something happen with this other object. I've got videos I can send you. This object is an African ceremonial bell, and you put the mallet in between the two, and then just ding a ding a ding a ding a ding like that, and it's for weddings and for dances and things like that. It's celebrational. And when we were in Savannah with it, we were all in the foyer in the gift shop talking, and we heard it. All of us heard it. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, the video caught it.
Dinging, huh? Like somebody had a hammer in between it, mallet. Interesting. So it's an artifact. I think it's pretty old.
Yeah. It's got to be. I'd like to get it dated. So
That's
if there's anybody out there watching it, that if you have the ability to date stuff, please reach out to me, because I've got something I'd love to send you.
I should feature some of the native artifacts I have on one of our shows from just over the years that people have given me, and also that I've acquired. They're pretty interesting stuff. Artifacts seem to really you got to have a certain state of mind or a certain mindset when you deal with the more darker cases. And I have theories on superstition, and my theory is that if you believe that the devil's going to get you at every turn, then he's going to try to. And it also like it discredits the powers that protect you. I think like if you believe that the devil's all powerful and has total control over you and can do whatever he wants to you, then that kind of discredits God, I suppose. I mean that's my thoughts on it. So it's kind of like so the whole term of like creating something when you have that mindset. Of course, like I look at it from a total scientific point of view because I don't have any gifts, but there are definitely some interesting things that happen with objects. I mean, it's undeniable. I remember I ran some audio like close to all the stuff that I have, and pretty weird the stuff that I captured. So there's definitely is, and there was activity in my home. So I wonder if it has to do with that or just the kind of cases I do. It's hard to say, but I'm definitely a believer in haunted objects. I guess that's the whole point behind what I'm saying. Like the doll you're holding and stuff like that. That there is an actual supernatural power there. It's not just us thinking it's going to happen and it creates it.
Well, since we're talking about different types of evidence, this is a Victorian, supposedly a ghost photo, but clearly when you see it, you'll know it's fake. But I wanted to discuss how they did it.
Okay.
It's coming.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would be like early, late 1800s, early 1900s? Probably 1800s, right?
Yes. 1800s. And I know part of that is done with cheesecloth, but...
Okay, double exposure, maybe? Like, were they using, like, overlapping photographs? Yeah, I mean, because the face obviously is something that looks like
floating head, yeah. I found that interesting because the guy's supposed to be dead. I just wondered how they were able to pull that off.
There was a write-up I was reading about a college that was doing studies on seances, and they actually were studying this one medium that when she do seances, things would appear like ectoplasm. We're talking about there's different types of ectoplasm, if I have that right. There's like the type that manifests, within the environment. There's type that comes out of your body. And he said that this person would have it come out of their body, and it was like it would either come out of their ear or their nose or their mouth or their torso. But when it came out of their torso, he said it sounded like a shotgun blast going off, and it kind of shoot out and kind of like shimmering like plastic wrap at first, but it would form an object. And he said that they even, and you can probably look this up, there's information about this, about their study. The thing would the ectoplasm would then form the likeness of a person, I guess. and
Yeah.
it grow hair and begin to speak, and they even got like fingerprints off this thing, whatever it was, and they got hair samples and all kinds of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So that's pretty hardcore. I mean, that is unbelievable. So like these mediums, I guess it'd have to be like, I mean, this is probably the most extreme cases of channeling. Is that something that you don't hear about now? Is that type of ectoplasm? Or
I know.
but it was a big thing back in the 1800s. And there's a lot of fake photographs, but there's also like some supposedly legitimate photographs too out there. But it's pretty much impossible to tell now, I'm sure. But that definitely looks like a photograph that's been.
Yeah, that one's been faked. But I just wondered how they did it.
And there's and Houdini, he had a fascination with the paranormal, and he was out to either disprove or credit people that were claiming to be mediums,
Right.
back in the day.
That's right.
And there's an individual that if I have this correct, that he sat in on their seance, and he could not disprove her.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
and it was a big deal.
He was a member of the Society for Psychical Research, and
yeah.
there were several psychics that he could not disprove, but a lot of the sleight of hand that happened in those spirit cabinets, he could totally blow that away.
Familiar with, because he was a what do they call them, illusion? What do they call those guys?
Like an illusionist, but sleight of hand. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and could escape from anything. It's interesting how he died too. He was asleep at a restaurant or a party or some kind of gathering. I can't remember exactly where it was, but this guy came up, and because his whole famous thing was he could take a punch from a pro boxer easy, like he'd let him punch him. Well, this ordinary guy came up and punched him when he was sleeping in his stomach, and they figure it ruptured his appendix or something, and that's why he died, because he wasn't expecting it. Just a little weird fact about Houdini. And of course, there's some.
See him on the tray.
What's that?
Sorry, I was talking to Gwen, just trying to figure out something here.
Uh-oh.
Not on there? Then it's in the fridge. Okay, sorry. Let me show you this, Chad. Check this one out. Talking about ectoplasm.
Okay. See, now that might be real.
I was thinking
that might be real
too. It doesn't look like cloth, right? And you see she's in a spirit circle because she's holding hands.
Yeah, and there's also some activity. There's some stuff going on in the photograph. Also, like looks like there's some mist or something.
You see it here and here.
And then looks like there's almost like a face in the far corner. I mean, I don't know if the Matrix seeing this or not, with its mouth wide open, like up in the far corner past her head.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Can you see my pointer?
I can't, but it's right past her. It's right there past her head in the corner. Yeah, that's odd. That looks. I would have to say that could be real. That
could be real. Gosh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was good.
I do cover these things in my book, Victorian Ghost Files, Between Heaven and Ectoplasm.
So you cover that photograph too, as well?
A little bit, yeah. I've got a couple, not that exact one, but this one is in the book. We talked about that one already.
Right. And that one, the other one kind of looks authentic, but I'd like to see your conclusion on that. Read about it. It'd be interesting.
So let's see if I can, some of the people that are part of the Society for Cyclical Research, I find them fascinating because they're so exemplary in their field. Chemists and poets, Now, that is a sample of automatic writing.
Automatic writing, yeah, I was going to say. Interesting.
Oh, dear darling, thank God, thank you. At last, I'm through. I've tried so often to talk. How I am, I don't know. I can't read all of it. It's all my heart. I mean, it's a love letter.
Right.
Have you ever known anybody that did automatic writing?
I have seen some examples of it. in my case, in the cases of that type of phenomenon that I personally have witnessed, I always think, what are you talking to? See, that's the thing that's in the back of my mind. Like, what is this? Is it really what you think it is?
Right.
There's a huge with evil spirits. There's a huge deceptionary aspect to it, and like with any kind of communication device, like Ouija boards and something like that, you never know what you're talking to, or if you're talking to, a loved one or a spirit that means no harm. And I've seen a lot of things end up being negative that came out of that kind of stuff. But I'm sure that there's examples of positive things too.
Yeah, you just have to question everything to make sure you're not being duped.
I mean, if you're a believer that there are demonic entities out there, that you really do have to question everything. And I'm a firm believer 100% that there are some of the things I've witnessed, that there are things out there that definitely are evil beyond what we can imagine as humans. And they know our weaknesses, they know our vulnerability.
They know we're vulnerable, yeah.
And they prey upon all that, and they've had a long time to watch us. They know things about us that nobody knows but us, and so it makes it. They have a good tool there to convincing people that they're talking to their loved ones. Because let's say you and a loved one, we're the only two that know about something, but there's these things that watch us that they also know. So you'd have to be careful. Unfortunately, that's the type of cases I can't really open myself up very much to them, because that has bad repercussions. Knock on wood. Yeah, there's been a lot of I've had some things happen that are pretty interesting, but there is a caution. Do you feel you have to be cautious in this field? Do you feel you have to do that?
Yes, absolutely.
So you believe that there are things out there of a demonic nature, don't you?
I do.
You do. Have you ever been affected by anything like that? I don't think I've ever asked you that. I never asked you that question, Lee.
No, it's been a long time since I've talked about it. I dealt with several demonic cases. I was part of a team called Spiritual Warfare Alliance team, and we did exorcisms and the extreme cases, and we would go there to see if it was really a possession or whatever, and then take action.
Like structures or people, like people, right?
Yeah. So we had some things happen that were pretty incredible.
Yeah, once you go through something like that, like the possession of a person, once you experience that, there's all the I like the skeptics and their arguments. Well, how do you know it's not mental illness? Well, they need to sit through something like that to observe it, and then they need to be asked that at the end of it. No, that's what definitely changed my mind. 100% is dealing with a case of possession that really instilled that there are demons and there are angels and there is God and these things exist.
Yes, absolutely. I have a bulletin to show you real quick from the Society of Cyclical Research. Thought you might want to see it. This is a progressive spiritual association in Massachusetts, and this was a church bulletin of medium speaking and all of that. Yeah. So, they had little churches that were set up for this with supper tickets, and they charged admission at the door. Yeah. So I thought that was so unique.
That is like what time era is that? Was that also back like early 1900s?
Let's see if I see a date on there.
1912, yeah.
1912, yeah.
Interesting. Well, see, there was a big interest in spiritualism back in the early 1900s, and we've kind of had a hiatus from that for a while.
Yeah, I think it's coming back, though. We've had so many things happen.
It doesn't mean it's gone anywhere. I mean, we've kind of we went through this phase where, everything was based on technology, which I'm a firm believer that there is a science behind all this activity, and because we can measure it with instruments. And I think that I say this often. I think we have enough accumulated evidence we can prove something's going on.
I agree.
But there's a stigma. It's almost like a stigma with it. We were talking on one of my shows here recently about, and I think it was Brandon was on there, and we were talking about how I think that the government knows more. Actually, I'm
Sure.
about this phenomenon because they've studied it, and the government doesn't waste their time on things that aren't real. And it's almost like, is there a conspiracy, around the paranormal? Because there are these big corporations like National Geographic did a thing where they were going to go out and try to prove the paranormal or disprove it, and they went to this really haunted jail, and with all their boom mics and all their equipment, they couldn't pick up anything that, that's hard for me to believe.
It's hard for me to believe they weren't doing something right. As many things that are haunted, oh, for Pete's sake.
And mainstream science, you're not wanting to recognize. It's like there's not a divide between the two, really, if you think about it. It's all scientific. I know there's some aspects that they're not comfortable with, like people that have gifts and psychic mediums and stuff like that. But it can be backed up with equipment as well. So it can all be, and you know what? The government uses remote viewing. So
yes, absolutely, and that's been proven.
Yes, they have so they've already given it credibility. It's just interesting that anybody with an audio recorder can go capture some interesting, questionable evidence of that. I mean, anybody can, anywhere. I mean, you don't even have to know anything about it. You can go in there, go into a haunted place and run an audio recorder and pick up something that is interesting. But this is viewed as like not a form of legitimate science, and it's just hard for me to believe because it's so the evidence is so abundant that
absolutely.
But I know it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But that doesn't change. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, a lot of people didn't think that they were uncomfortable with the thought of the world being round too. But,
right.
And then maybe it's not. Who knows? There's conspiracies about that too.
Well, I've saved the best for the last. I showed you some pictures earlier, and so now I'm going to show them to our audience. Okay. This one, this building was about to be torn down.
Is it a school? Is that like a gymnasium, or what is that?
It's a military building, and we believe that it was haunted, and there were some deaths in association with, obviously, some of the equipment that was used overseas, and some of the soldiers did not make it back home, and there were 3 of them, and we have been able to count 3 pairs of legs looking at the command center, trying to figure out what we were doing.
Yeah, because our internet connection broke up right when you were talking about that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, before pre-show. But 3 pairs of legs. I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep. So there were 3 soldiers that didn't make it home, and we believe that there were 3 pairs of legs there.
And they're kind of standing like, just like in like in
they're
a row
looking
there.
at us like, what are you doing? What are you doing, guys?
The one middle one is really, you can really see a lot there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the height of the individual and everything else.
So I couldn't find a way to disprove it. That was
So
something with a cell phone.
When did you capture that?
That was captured last year.
Oh, wow. So it was demolished. The building was demolished?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
There's a body farm not far from there.
Oh, interesting.
So if anything was going to make something haunted, I think that would do it.
I think that would definitely do it, yeah. Body farms and hospitals. Even if you look at it from a demonic aspect, they feed off of that type of environment.
Right.
It's odd. That's why a lot of prisons are haunted by things of, of nefarious nature. Is the actual localized environment, like they thrive on that type of atmosphere. It's a good place for things to go.
Yeah, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen there.
Yeah, the body farms. Yeah, those are interesting though. Like when they film the body and the body moves around, and you know, all the different processes that go, you know, that happen when you decompose it.
Yeah. So here's the last picture. I know we're about out of time. I'm better get it up here.
Wow, we're already out of time.
All
That
right,
one,
so
that one's the one.
can
Yeah,
you
that's the
believe
one
it?
I like that one there.
Yeah, there's a child in the crib, a child in the toddler bed, and something, it looks like a female, at least long haired to the shoulders, and staring at the child in the bed. And
That's
this was taken off of a baby monitor. And as you see at the top, motion detected. So this happened this year,
is
April
creepy.
27th.
That is creepy. So have they well, I don't know how much you can talk about this, but have they captured anything else like that visually since this photograph?
She has a video. This is actually a video.
Oh, I see.
And so you can see the thing moving and disappearing.
Oh, interesting. That is.
And you hear mom running down the hall because.
So there was an alert on the monitor. Something was in there.
Right.
Well, yeah, you know, we used to have a baby monitor that we used all the time in our equipment. It wasn't the visual one, but it was an audio one. And we used to use it to, you know, monitor locations from a distance, and they work. Matter of fact, I really wish I still had it because it worked a lot better than a lot of other stuff. But so yeah, so that's going to be something you guys are going to be investigating soon, huh?
Yeah, I got to figure this out.
Looking forward to that.
Well, I'll have to let you know more about it after we do it.
Yeah, you'll have to keep me posted there. See, you know,
especially since there's children involved, you know.
Yeah, you know, that's get on it. That's a big one there because, you know, children involved. It makes it different. It really does. Makes it more urgent, and there seems to be a lot of cases like that with children involved, which, you know, we talked about the reasons, you know, why, theories and stuff like that. But yeah, it's we definitely have an interesting job, don't we?
We sure do.
It's never boring. Never boring.
Never boring.
No, you know, and that's what I tell people ask me about it. I'm like, well, it's never boring. It's interesting to say the least, you know. Can't imagine not doing it.
I can't either. It's part of who I am now.
But thank you so much for hosting the show. Thank you. And a big thanks to Gwen, the producer, and everybody that has made this network possible. Thank you for having me.
Gwen's wonderful.
And
we talking about you, Missy.
Things are going places.
Here she comes.
There she is.
Yes, I was trying to get all my liquids in the bag, so.
Well,
she's got to do all the, you know, get it.
Thank you to the producer of my show and many others, and, you know, all those working hard behind the scenes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
well, that's about it for the show.
We're gonna make it to. We will make it to your Paracon. I sucked over gin in between. When the show
yes, he wants to come to Alabama.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Hey, that'd be freaking awesome, man.
Wouldn't it be amazing? I think people would love that.
Well,
we'll
do
come
it.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah, if he can come to, you know, I'll be in Wisconsin on July 20, the weekend after the 13th, so whatever that is.
Oh yeah, right. So you doing something down there?
Yeah, there's a Paracon at Broadhead, Wisconsin.
Oh, right.
Paranormal Rockdown.
But we will definitely. We'll go to the one in August for sure. And that, I mean, that's sometime I can get going. So yeah, you know, fun stuff coming up.
It is.
Well, I'll play the video for Deep South Paracomic-Con since you are going to be there.
Yeah, play that.
Yeah.
How much good night? Because I'm gonna go in there and finish up.
Good night, Chad. I enjoyed being with you tonight.
Thank you.
And Marley says good night.
Oh, Molly, yes, Molly. Thank you for being on the show, Molly. Don't be raising too much hell, you know.
She's a mess. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you, Lee.
All Access Network Television, a division of Family Spirit Supernatural LLC, is thrilled to announce the extended revisions of 2 best-selling books, just in time to elevate your bookshelf or audiobook queue. Your psychic connection is back and better than ever. This newly revised edition helps you unlock, develop, and trust your psychic abilities with powerful exercises, spirit guide insights, and real-life stories. Whether you're just discovering your gifts or refining them, this is your go-to guide to psychic awakening. So, you think your kid is psychic now includes even more tools for families. Does your child see spirits, have intense dreams, or know things they shouldn't? This updated version helps you identify, protect, and nurture your child's unique gifts with safety and confidence. Breaking news. Coming June 21st, the chilling new release, Haunted Objects, Possessions That Refuse to Die. Explore cursed items, haunted heirlooms, and real paranormal case files from Family Spirit Paranormal Investigations. It's spooky, it's real, it's unforgettable. Join us June 21st at the Savannah Paranormal Museum. Get your books signed, tour the Haunted Object Lab, explore the museum, and top it off with a live psychic reading from Litriana Brown herself. All titles available now on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, Thrift Books, Llewellyn. All Access Network Television, every story, every voice, all access.